Okay, so I think the last time that I've ever driven home in complete silence from the movies is when I saw Hereditary. Like, when I saw that movie, I did not turn on any sort of music whatsoever. I just drove in complete silence because I thought something was coming to get me, and I was just in complete and utter disbelief at what I just saw. But that's how you know a movie's good, when you're just driving home in complete silence because you're just in complete astonishment of what you watched. And that's what this movie did for me here. I saw this movie 45 minutes away. Like the theater that I saw this at was 45 minutes away from where I live. And for the entire 45-minute drive home from this movie, I was in complete and utter silence. I was also in complete and utter disbelief, but I did not say a single word. This movie broke me. And somehow it was one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, this is All of Us Strangers. Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, this is my review for All of Us Strangers, starring Andrew Scott, Paul Mescal, Claire Foy, Jamie Bell, and it was directed by Andrew High. And our story follows a screenwriter by the name of Adam, played by Andrew Scott, who essentially lives in this, I'll say, like, new apartment facility, or one where not a lot of people live. It's honestly, it could be abandoned depending on how you look at things. But basically, he lives in this apartment building, and one of his neighbors by the name of Harry, played by Paul Mescal, stumbles upon him, and these two start to grow a connection together, and they start to really like each other. And as their connection and their love is growing for one another, Adam is brought back to his childhood home, to where his parents not only died when he was 12, but he is starting to reconnect with them, and he sees that they are the same age that they were when they died. Like, they have not aged one bit since then. That is the best way I'm going to describe the plot, because I'm going to be completely honest with you. I missed that entire, like, notion in the trailer. Like, I do remember them saying that Claire Foy and Jamie Bell were his parents, but I completely just never really pieced together, like, there was no age difference between Andrew Scott and Claire Foy and Jamie Bell, or at least, like, they're all very older, so I'm like, how are these his parents? I never really pieced that together until I watched this movie, and then I realized to myself, I guess, honestly, I didn't really pay attention to what the trailer was. Like, I just saw Paul Mescal, and I was completely sold. All I needed to do was see Paul Mescal, and I'm completely sold on anything, because if you have not seen Normal People on Hulu, please do that, and I promise you, anything that Paul Mescal's name pops up in after you see Normal People, you don't even need to know but what the rest of it is about. You'll just walk into it and just watch it, because Paul Mescal is a complete gem. But before I get into all that, look, this movie was a mind fuck for me. Like, this movie was a mind fuck in a few different ways, and I mean that in the best ways possible. It's been a while since I've sat through a mind fuck movie like this one, and honestly, the way that this movie just sits with you hours and hours and hours after you've left the theater, it is immensely ridiculous. I mean, this was one of those movies where I enjoyed what I was watching, but by the end of it, I was crying, but I was so confused and conflicted about my emotions about this film, because I had to make sure I was understanding what I was watching. I had to make sure I was actually comprehending everything this movie was trying to tell me, which, gotta be honest with you, you're not going to be able to do that on the first watch. I mean, maybe you are. Maybe you are going to be able to comprehend everything this movie's trying to tell you on the first watch, and to me, that's very impressive. But for me, I had a lot. I felt very lost at times, but then the movie does a good job of kind of presenting to you what's going on, but they do leave you in a notion where you definitely have to figure it out for yourself what this movie actually means. And like I said, I was very conflicted by the end, because I was crying, but then at the same time I was so confused because I wanted to put some things together, and so I had to end up, doing what I normally don't do, and that's research the ending of this film to really make sure I understood everything that I just witnessed. And then once I read and truly understood what I just witnessed, I cried even more, and like I said, I rode home for 45 minutes in complete silence, because what this movie did here was not only tell one of the best, I'd say, stories about grief and regret and leaving things unsaid, but it also told one of the most genuine love stories. And I mean, not just like boy meets boy as this trailer precedes it to be. This story, I'm sorry, let me get my words together. This movie genuinely tells an actual story about love itself and its effect on our everyday lives, its effect on how lonely we get, its effect on our emotions, its effect on how we move throughout, our day, if we deserve it, if we even think we should try again, if we've lost it. It's an entire testament, as the poster says. It is an entire testament to the power of love. Like, I am in complete disbelief how much I love this movie. Like I said, this movie was a complete mindfuck, and I can't really get into why. I mean, well, it was mainly because I didn't know Claire Foy. I mean, I knew Claire Foy and Jamie Bell were the parents, but I never really put together that they're all like the same age. So I'm like, how is this happening? So I can't really get into like that mind fucking part, because I don't want to spoil anything for you. And then there's other things that happen in the movie too that are definitely mind fucking, definitely mind fucking parts. And throughout it all, you just can't help but be overwhelmed by how beautiful this movie is. And I mean, the entire movie is beautiful. Everything, the cinematography, the camera shots, the performances, the dialogue, oh my god, the emotion that this movie captures is absolutely spectacular. I mean, look, I'm going to be completely real with y'all. Like, I walked out of this movie and I gave it originally like a 4.5 out of 5, because I'm like, I don't know if I really want to give it a 5 and be too strong. But when I truly continue to think about the effect this movie had on me, and the continuous effect it still has on me even as I'm talking about it to you guys, this is damn near a perfect movie to me. This is damn near a perfect movie to me. And the reason I say that you probably can't grasp everything that this movie is going to tell you on the first watch is because there's so much in the plot that you're going to probably feel lost at. And then once you get it, it's like you have missed some key things that have been said, or key things that have been done by characters before you actually get what's going on, or you think you get what's going on. You've missed some things and some important words and some important things that are said to actually piece this entire story together and what it's trying to tell you. And I mean, the reason I'm saying all that is because once I read the ending explained article of this film, I told myself I have to watch this again. And even the director himself, Andrew High, says that this is a movie where the more you watch it, the more it'll affect you in various ways, the more that you'll continue to piece together really what is going on here, the more you'll continue to really understand how this ending can be perceived as sad, optimistic, hopeful, a various different amount of things. Like, this is truly one of the most beautiful ways I've ever seen a story about love itself be told. Like, this is, like, and the reason I have to keep emphasizing this is a story about love and not necessarily, like, love between two people, is because you have someone who is being able to reconnect with his parents. In Andrew Scott's character, he's able to reconnect with Claire Foy and Jamie Bell and say the things that was left unsaid. And I'm not going to go into too many crazy details about that because I don't want to spoil anything, but just watching Andrew Scott, I'm going to start with his performance because he took my breath away. Like, I walked in this movie expecting for Paul Mescal and Paul Mescal was incredible, but I was walking in this movie expecting for Paul Mescal to completely blow me away. This dude, Andrew Scott, this is the first movie I've ever seen him in, is absolutely breathtaking. And every moment this man is on screen, every time this guy is doing something that truly has to capture some sort of dark, deep, empathetic emotion that he's just been feeling like he's been keeping inside for so long, and he gets the opportunity to tell Claire Foy or Jamie Bell something just that he's been wanting to tell them forever because they've been dead since he's been 12. It's like he just does such a phenomenal job at making you literally try to fight back tears. Like, this is such a beautiful movie. It is a gorgeous movie, and I mean that in every sense of the word, man. And look, like I said, I want to give, I'm kind of spoiling what I'm giving this movie already, but I had to give it a 5 out of 5 because, like, the more I think about it, the more not only I just find nothing wrong with this movie, but this is a movie that truly speaks to our loneliness, our pain, the things that we've lost in life, and everything, all of that due to love, all of that due to one thing that I'll say many of us yearn for so deeply, and some of us are so afraid to go for, some of us are so afraid to live after we've lost someone we loved. It's like, this movie is truly about love in all of its many ways, shapes, and forms that it comes into our lives and affects us, and how we can continue to move forward with that, even if it's the most painfully gut-wrenching thing in the world, which this movie is. This movie is so painfully heartbreaking in so many different ways. And like I said, Andrew Scott was the reason that this movie affected me the way it did, because his performance literally breathed life into this movie. This movie does not work without him. This movie does not work without this actor. I'm convinced that I'm not sure a lot of people could do what this man did in this film, and I'll even say that to Paul Mescal's character. Their chemistry is ridiculous. These two are absolutely spectacular on screen, and it's crazy because getting towards the end of this movie, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, I really wanted Paul Mescal to just wow me in this film, and while he was really good, I didn't really get the wow factor. And then the ending of this film is where Paul Mescal comes in and says, yeah, I'm a really good actor too, this guy's great, but I'm phenomenal as well. And he shows his ass off, man. Not literally, because I mean, yeah, there's some butt in this movie, but he literally he doesn't literally show his ass off, but he shows his ass off in the sense of he just acts his ass off. Like, Paul Mescal completely blew me away. Claire Foy and Jamie Bell as Andrew Scott's parents, it don't make no sense how good they were in this movie. I mean, like, there was so much I did not know about this movie going in, because, like, I didn't really need, like I said, once I saw Paul Mescal was in this movie, I was like, I'm sold. I don't really need much else. Like, okay, I like Claire Foy, love Jamie Bell, never seen Andrew Scott in anything, but Paul Mescal's in it, I'm sold. I'm gonna watch it. So I didn't really need to pay attention to I didn't feel like I needed to pay attention to anything else in the trailer when it kept playing in the theater, but I felt like I missed so much, from my experience that I had in the theater, from not really knowing a lot about what this movie was or is at its core, I feel like I don't necessarily want to get into what I experienced or what was new to me as I was watching this movie, because I would really like it if you guys just experienced it the way I did, not knowing much about this plot whatsoever, and just experiencing something that I feel like all of us go through on a day-to-day basis, like the roller coaster of emotion, and the roller coaster of emotions that love puts us through. It's truly breathtaking what went on in this film, and all credit. Like I said, this movie does not work without the two Andrews. I didn't say who the second one was, but I mean, it's the director, of course, because his name Andrew High. But this movie does not work without the two Andrews. Doesn't work without Andrew Scott, and it damn sure doesn't work without Andrew High. The director in this film, Andrew High, not only created just so much beautiful scenery throughout the film, but like I said, he made it so that not only are you experiencing a movie where you feel like you're getting mind fucked, but at the same time, it's like he made a film where you really have to watch it multiple times in order to truly grasp how beautiful and how amazing and just how heartbreaking this tale really is. And everything, like I said, personally, I don't think you can get everything that this movie is trying to present to you on the first watch, because there's just so much to take in, and it's like the more you think about it, the more you want to go back and catch things that you missed the first time. Like, I cannot wait to watch this movie again, because now that I actually know what this movie is at its core, I can go back and catch dialogue that I missed, dialogue that I couldn't really understand what they were meaning at first, but now that I know, it'll mean something completely different to me. I mean, that's all credit to the director here. And beyond that, the camera shots in this movie are gorgeous. The lighting, the color scheme, amazing. The editing in this film, the way some scenes transition and literally blend into one another, it's like watching a just harmonic symphony be orchestrated right in front of you. The most beautiful, harmonious orchestrated performance you've ever seen is being done right in front of your eyes, and it's all credit to Andrew High. Immense credit to Andrew High, man. Like, this dude told a very beautiful, beautiful story, and I'm speechless, guys. Like, there's nothing I disliked about this film. In my opinion, like, I think a lot of people have what their definition of a perfect film would be. Mine, thus far, the closest thing I've ever seen to a perfect movie is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This movie here is probably a close second. I'm being like 100% serious, because even sitting here now talking about the film, like, I'm kind of surprised at how much I really, really love this film, but I wanted it to have this effect on me, and now I probably won't stop thinking about this film for the entirety of the year. Have to go see this movie again. This is damn near a perfect movie to me. This is, honestly, this is the closest thing to perfection you're ever going to get in a film, minus, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, because that's perfection as well. But this is truly my definition of a perfect movie, with perfect themes, a perfect way to tell your story and keep the audience engaged. Like, and then even then, it's like, if people watch this movie and felt like they missed something, go back and experience it again, no matter how painful it is, which is really what this movie is trying to tell you. No matter how painful love might be, no matter how painful it might be to try again at love, something you feel like you don't even deserve, try again, because you don't know what's out there for you. Like, this dude, Andrew High, this entire movie was just making nothing but fire. He just burnt the entire studio down. I mean, well, I guess not the studio, because he's not a rapper, but their set pieces, burned them all to crisp, because this is truly one of my favorite movies of the year thus far. I mean, yes, I've only seen 3 movies thus far into this year, but look, I believe that this will be a strong candidate for my best of 2024 list. And yes, I am going to include it in my 2024 list, because I saw it in 2024. I know it came out last year, but it was limited release. Now it just got to wide release. So this is going to be on my best of 2024 list regardless. Don't care. And for all those reasons and so many more, guys, I'm going to give All of Us Strangers a 5 out of 5 stars. All right, guys, so All of Us Strangers, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Look, comment below your thoughts on the film. Comment here below on the mind fucking that proceeded in this film, if you saw it. Comment your thoughts on the ending. Comment your thoughts on what you believe the ending means. Please, let's get a conversation going, because I would love to talk to you guys about this film, because I loved it so very much. Look, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and so much more, guys. Look, this is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.